All right, record.
Nice background, by the way, Mike.
Yeah, I set it up, but it's all like a Bobo setup. Like I'm on a thin table in the middle of my office, but I wanted to get the background set up. So
nice.
And you too, Jeremy. Not to leave you out. Nice.
He just moved into his house. I'm cutting him some slack.
No, I'm just fucking around.
Can't see boxes and shit.
I got an nice background, so I just took the fuck pillow off my bed so nobody could see that.
Oh, that's what that is. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You want to start?
Yeah.
Sure.
Everyone ready?
Yeah, man.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We'll just go as long as we go and see what happens. All right. Welcome to the new episode of The Usual Saints. I'm Mike D with Jeremy, Vinnie, and Sainte. How are you guys doing today?
Doing well. Fantastic. Third day of the year. Doing good, man.
Is it the third?
Fine.
It is the third day. That's right.
Third day? What's the matter with you? Has COVID gone to your brain already?
Bro, are we going to start with that?
Happy New Year to you guys and to all our listeners. However you're listening to this, actually that might be a good place to start with Mike rigging in the new year, not COVID free or COVID adjacent, I should say. But go ahead, Mike.
I am COVID free somehow, but the rest of the participants living in this house that I live in are not. So I've been having to act as Mr. Belvedere for the entire house, pets and wife and kid and everything.
Are they ill at all? Are they sick or?
My wife she's it's like she described it as like a bad sinus infection. It seems to be getting better. My wife or my daughter only had a little bit of a sore throat and stuff, but that seemed to have gone away. So
that's a good thing.
Yeah. I just thought for sure I was going to get it. I took 3 days off last week. I called in sick 3 days thinking, oh, I'm going to have it. And then I get my test results Wednesday night and they're like, not detected. So
wow.
I don't know. I played it up in my head though, because I felt like I was getting sicker, but maybe it was all a mental thing. I don't know.
Oh, every little thing I get, I think I'm getting COVID. If I sneeze,
right.
Like, oh shit. 911, bring the hazmat suits. No.
All jokes aside, hoping the best for your wife and your daughter, hopefully they recover, everything's well. But any idea of how they caught it, but you didn't? Any guesses, or is it just one of those?
They don't like being around them.
See, Jeremy, that's the wit that he was talking about that we were missing last week. I don't know, because we're all in the same house. We all sit on the couch, watch TV, eat dinner together, all that kind of stuff. I really have no idea how I avoided it. I fully expected to have it. No. My boss said it best. I think she is like that. It's just such a confusing disease because, theoretically, if they have it, I should have it if I've been doing all the same stuff. But who knows? Maybe one of them didn't wash their hands one day or something. I thought it was airborne, but which would lead me to believe that I would get it. But apparently it didn't work out that way. So, but the health department told me I'm supposed to quarantine until January 15th. Unless I'm an essential employee, which of course I am. So that's not going to be happening.
Oh yeah. You can go to work, but you got to stay quarantined from your family.
Yeah.
So where are you on the list for getting a vaccine, Mike, as an essential employee?
I haven't even figured that out. No one's told me anything. So I'm pretty much waiting for all the cops and firefighters and old people to get vaccinated. And this is Florida, so it's going to be a while. And
I was about to say, we're in the state of Florida, so you might be waiting outside 2 a.m. in the cold for a vaccine next to the old people. So
yeah. So we'll see how that plans out.
I'm tier 1C, and they're telling us June.
Wow, June! Holy shit!
Wow,
that sucks.
And I'm tier 1. What the hell? Those ventilators are going to work if the electric stops going. I'm just saying.
Yeah, right.
I would never put you at tier 1 on anything, Jeremy.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, you've always been tier one to me, Jeremy.
That's all right. In Mike's family, who would have had money on him, the one not getting the communicable disease?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Wow.
Zing. But yeah, that's how I started my New Year. It's my first New Year's that I can recall ever in my life being alone. I mean, there was one, Jeremy can attest to one in 2003. He came up to Orlando to come be with me. We watched Family Guy, probably played some Battlefront or something probably back then. I don't know. And
Maybe
hung out.
I.
Yeah, that was when I decided to break up with my then fiance for a week or two, and then I begged for her forgiveness. So that was fun.
Yeah, that sounds like a terrible New Year's.
You broke up over the holidays?
I broke up
Perfect.
like in December sometime, and then I asked Jeremy to come up to the apartment in Orlando, and
He just didn't want to buy a gift.
That's what I'm saying. That's a great way to save money. Just have a little spat over the holidays and make up on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, I guess that's the way to go. Although she did take my
Her
PlayStation
birthday's right
2,
after
so
that,
She took your PlayStation 3?
she took my PlayStation 2, so I'm guessing that we didn't play any games that night. I'm guessing it was just Family Guy, me and Jeremy hanging out, probably having beers or something. I don't know.
Why did she take your PlayStation 2? Is that something she gave you?
Spiteful thing for me being an asshole. So
That's dirty bitch. Hey, you gonna take a man's game from him? Come on, that's horrible.
Yeah, she took all
And
the plates.
Did she play, or she just took? She didn't play it, did she?
No, she just took it. Oh, she did play The Sims on it, but yeah, I don't think
sucks.
I agree, but that's I have to give people their joy in life, and that was hers at the time. So, but that's it. Yeah. So, what about you guys? What did you guys do for New Year's?
Well, it's my kid's birthday, the 31st, so most of the day was about hanging out with him, and he had a few friends over, and they hung out all night, and we made them come down and watch the ball drop with us. That was about it.
That's cool. How old's your son?
He just turned 17.
17. Wow.
Yeah.
That's so long ago. So long ago. Man, I got socks that are 17 years old.
All right.
And Jeremy, he's 17. I know I said happy birthday to him. So happy birthday, Jeff, if you do happen to listen to this. He's about a foot taller than Jeremy, but it's fun. He's taller than me. It makes me feel short, and that's hard to do,
Really?
I don't really come upon a lot of people that are much taller than me. But
Yeah, my wife and I went to buy a car. We're like, we need to make sure somebody fits the back seat. Oh yeah, there's plenty of room. No. He's 6'4". We need to make sure he fits in the back seat.
No.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. What about you, Vinny? What'd you do?
My girlfriend and I, we just got a home away from home since she lives with her sister and I live with my dad. So we got a hotel room down in Midtown Atlanta and just pretty much hung out there. We went down to the hotel bar. There was nobody there. Had a drink and went back up with a bottle of champagne and brought in the new year, and that was it. Just kind of hung out together, away from everybody, and that was it. Low key, but it was fun. Had a good time. Brought in the new year, and that's about it. Man.
Gotcha.
Can't do much. I mean, in the places that we were right in Midtown Atlanta, and we were out walking around a little bit, and it was desolate, in comparison to what it usually is. Of course, it was kind of shitty out. It was rainy and really cold, but yeah, there wasn't a whole lot of people. We even went to one spot called, I think it's a chain, Marlowe's Tavern. I don't know if you guys have them in Florida.
No.
But that's pretty much a hot spot, and there was like nobody in there. It was like right across the street from the hotel, so we said, let's go check that out. But yeah, seems like everybody was adhering to the protocol. I mean, everybody that we saw had masks walking around, so we felt safe, and we social distance anyway. So it was good. Had a good time.
All right. What about you, Saint?
Nice. No, we just stayed home. My father-in-law, he's in town, running away from the cold up in Maine. So no, we just stayed home. He I mean, he was watching. I guess it's not the Dick Clark. I guess it's the Ryan Seacrest ball drop now, and he was watching that. And I took the rest of the family, went upstairs to the loft, and just I took the PS5 up there and played a bunch of Astros Playroom. And we played that till the neighbors started, setting off their fireworks, and it was pretty just chill night. Wife, kids, PlayStation 5, good times.
I think it is still called Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve because I think it's contractually obligated, but I'm not totally sure because I didn't watch that. I just put on.
That's
by Ryan.
right. That's what I think it is. Yeah, but it's all Ryan
Clark.
Seacrest now because obviously. But
Right.
so
And Vinnie, you didn't join us and play Among Us with us. Saint, I got him playing the other day. I know he had a little bit of fun. I think he got a little tired of it.
right.
I'm useless when it comes to video games, man. I can't do it. I'm not good at them, and I'm a pinball guy. So if you guys don't ever want to go to an arcade and play pinball, I'm 100% in. Trust me.
Actually, when's the last time you played? You've seen some of the newer pinball games. They're pretty it's kind of crazy. They're trying to bring the pinball game machines back, but I went to a bar. It was in Seattle somewhere, and it's like just all like beer and pinball. So, they got these specialty shops, and they've got a section with the old pinball games, but then the other side's all the new stuff. And some of this is like, am I playing pinball, or is this like some futuristic, the ball does some crazy jumping, it's all video graphics and craziness. But
all kinds of digital stuff, yeah.
Right,
yeah,
right.
I knew it was only a matter of time before they brought, digital into the arcade games, like pinball and stuff like that. But the only place we have pinball up here is Dave & Buster's has some, and then there's a little bar down in South Atlanta, or East Atlanta, I should say. It's like a nostalgic place. They have old, they have a bunch of games you can play at the table, and then they have old pinball machines and stuff like that. Old games from back in the 70s and before. So
gotcha.
Yeah.
So
that's the extent of my video games.
Did anyone make any New Year's resolutions? I'm not really big on it myself, but did anyone make any for this year?
No.
The succinctness of Jeremy.
I like the honesty. The only thing I've just pretty much what we're doing here. I just this year is like, as time goes on, I just want to be more creative. I want to create more things instead of consuming stuff. Because actually, I feel like I'm at like my consumption peak. Like I feel like with all the streaming, video games, and everything, it's like now I feel like I kind of want to get more and like putting more stuff out there, podcasts, videos, whatnot. So the only resolution I have here is to do a lot more creating than I've done in the past couple of years. I've tinkered around stuff, but never stuff I've actually published and put out. So this year, just all about creating and, putting stuff out there for people to, put more out, always consuming. So there.
Right. No, I mean, I agree. That's kind of what I did. If I even have a resolution, I started that LLC, which I'm waiting on the paperwork to go through on, and then I'll do that bank account like we talked about, and then I can get the equipment going so I can have a better setup than what I have right now and stop using my daughter's stuff. That's kind of my goal. I mean, besides this podcast, I don't know, it's probably a pipe dream, but my cousin I told you did say, oh, you should try out, do some voice acting or something. I'm not really trying to be like a voice actor like in movies or anything, but like some voiceover stuff I could probably do, make a little bit of money. That might be nice. Get me to do something that I enjoy rather than, kind of what I do now.
Yeah. I don't know if I set resolutions so much as, set goals for myself for this year. And kind of like I'm in the same boat as you guys, being more creative. And I'm looking to get into the voiceover stuff as well. In fact, I went to CSB initially to get into radio and voiceovers. Yeah. And I ended up in TV, for X amount of years. But now I want to get back, into doing some voiceover stuff, and of course the podcast stuff, and vlogs or whatever, whatever I can get out there. And about it.
If I can't encourage you guys at all, you all have faces for radio.
Absolutely. That's right.
Man,
Zing.
we really missed Jeremy last week.
Yeah. Wow.
That's true. It sounds sarcastic. I don't know.
He's always waiting just to drop that bomb right whenever the timing is fairly perfect.
Yeah, that's right. He picks his targets.
And hey, I teased it on Instagram for the people who, I've been busy this week getting all these Instagram followers and Twitter followers and, getting the podcast out everywhere. And hey, like I told you guys, it's available now on Apple Podcasts, which is what I use mostly, but it's also on Spotify. I don't think it's on Google Podcasts yet. I don't know what the holdup there is, but it's on a whole bunch of services. But hey, look, I got those books we were talking about last week, Cloudfall and Reaper, the ones that Robert Kirkman signs.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome, man.
That was it.
These are the ones I went through my collection. I was like, oh yeah, I got to go check those out. And remember I told you about Why the Last Man, me and Sainte were talking about last week. I know our viewers can't, or our listeners can't see this, but that's I like getting the same comic signed by many different artists. So I got Brian K. Vaughan, I got Jose Marzan and Pia Guerra, and she drew my daughter with a monkey, like in the book.
Awesome.
So that's
cool.
my collection I get to have in here. Jeremy, any resolutions or just to stay quick-witted and annoy us?
Well, that's always fun, but man, it's all been about trying to move into a new house. There ain't nothing else going on.
Yeah, that's been there, done that. That's not fun. That new house move is always like, oof.
Now, 12 hours into being in the house, I walk into the bathroom and there's water coming up in my shower. I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
The new house.
God.
That's right.
It is. Welcome to home
Apparently all the
ownership.
construction around here has the sewer lines all backed up. It's awesome.
Oh, man.
Well, he usually has me to help him move into houses, or this guy Ralph, who's a superhero. But
That's right.
he's apparently neither of us were available this time. I had COVID, or I thought I had COVID, and the other guy, I don't know.
COVID was the second excuse. The first one, oh, my shoulder hurts.
But
What
no,
the fuck? If you don't want to help, you don't want to help.
my
What the
shoulder,
hell?
my shoulder does hurt. I am having surgery this Thursday,
Whatever.
but
Picture it didn't happen.
you'll see it. I'll have the doctor record the surgery for you.
There we go.
It is.
That is a good thing. Anyone calls you to help move or can I borrow your truck? Like, oh man, I got that COVID.
Yeah, man. Can't do it.
It's very
Can't do it.
convenient, but I like I said, I don't know, man. I thought I was 100% sure I had it, so whatever. I guess I'm glad I don't. But what else? We're gonna talk about death to 2020.
Speaking of COVID, did you guys see the hospital in San Diego? 44 staffers have showed up with COVID. They think because of someone dressing up in an inflatable Christmas costume and the little fan spreading it throughout the entire emergency department.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
That's ridiculous.
Come on.
No, I didn't see that.
Tell me I can't have a party. What are you guys doing?
Jesus, man.
That was in San Diego. I didn't hear about that.
Use
Yeah.
your head. Gotta use your head, man. Gotta use your head.
I know we were going to talk about death to 2020, but I'm not sure if anyone got around to watching that. But
I did. I watched about 10 minutes of it.
not your thing, Vinnie.
Well, it was okay. I just didn't have enough time. I mean, I'm talking like at 7 o'clock I started watching it. Just so I knew what was going on if you guys were talking about it. But,
You know about the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's about it. And not really, because I was in bed watching it. So it's kind of falling out half the time. So.
Did anyone else get a chance to watch it, or are we just going to drop it? Maybe cover it another week. Sainte, Jeremy?
No, I didn't get a chance. Maybe cover it another week.
No big deal.
Yeah, I got nothing.
I want to talk about the the tea heard around the world, though. Did everyone watch that video? Because that video is a lot shorter than Death to 2020.
The
Yes.
Trump phone call? Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that one.
The Twisted Tea. See, I didn't get it for like
Oh, the
a few
Twisted
days.
Tea,
Yeah. Did you watch it, Vinny?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Okay. I didn't watch it for probably the first day. All I kept seeing was all these memes posted everywhere online, on Facebook, Twitter, like someone holding a can of tea, like the old Batman Robin one where Robin's getting slapped. It's a twisted tea can hitting him in the head.
Yeah.
I didn't get it, so I just wound up finally Googling it, and I found it, and I was like, oh.
Oh, yeah, man. Gotta lit him up. Gotta lit him up with that tea, man. Holy shit. Man.
Jeremy, what'd you think about it?
No, it's hilarious. Watching that guy get bitch slapped, that was awesome.
Oh my God.
He deserved it.
That guy was such a dick.
So-
Obviously drunk.
Right. So first we could break it down. First thing you have to notice, and maybe it's just because I live in Florida, but first thing you notice is guy doesn't have a mask on. And I'm like,
Exactly.
it's always these dudes who are walking around without mask on. That's number one. Number two, I like how Buddy, he was giving them space, patient, and it was just a little trying to kick the can out of his hand that set him off.
Right.
And I felt him 100% because in my mind, I'd be like, all right, buddy, whatever, do this. But that little itty bitty kick, it's those little things that, and I just knew, I'm the same way. That little thing would have set me off and I would have I'm like, that's when I was like, oh, smack this dude.
That was
then it's
definitely
like,
the trigger. That was definitely
exactly.
the trigger.
Now you want to test me and I've given you space. And then the rest of the video is just, icing on the cake, like, yeah.
I was impressed. It looked like he had the can cocked a couple times in his hand, and he talked himself out of it and put the can down for a minute and, tried to back away, and the guy just would not stop.
Yeah, the guy's relentless, man. He deserved worse than what he got, to be honest. I mean, but he definitely got him good.
He's crawling out the store. That's the best.
Yeah,
we got the same Florida issue over here, though. I mean, for some reason, convenience stores, nobody wants to wear a mask walking into them. I don't get it. I mean, most stores are pretty good now. Convenience stores, they just don't care right now.
Yeah. Well, I've noticed up here in Georgia, they, some of them are pretty strict. I mean, if you walk in, man, they either throw a mask at you or they say, you got to go, you got to leave. And, especially at a convenience store, that can be dangerous because you don't know who you're dealing with, number one, especially late at night. I see some people trying to get into the store late at night and they're getting rejected. It's like, yeah, I wouldn't want to be working at a convenience store at that time because some people take it really personally, man, when you're trying to get them to be safe,
Right.
It's got to be a hard conversation, though. Some people are very, they get upset real quick about hey, you need to put a mask on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I seen another video. There was a lady. She was picking up some packages at the UPS store. Of course, not wearing a mask. And they're trying to explain to this woman, like, ma'am, if you're not going to wear a mask, you have to go outside. We'll help you out there. And she was going on and on, like, no, this is where my package gets set. So this is like my residence. And the manager looks at her, and I guess there's another employee recording. The manager looks at her like, ma'am, this is not your residence. I understand you get your mail sent here, but you don't live here. And she's like, well, why do I get my packages in here? I pick them up all the time. And the manager's like, well, okay, but you don't have a mask on. You're going to have to step outside. And again, it's the no mask wearing people just, I'm noticing a pattern here that, it's not getting through to certain people where not wearing a mask, try a dude that's much, much bigger than you inside of a store. UPS lady thinks this is her house because she gets packages sent there. It's like, okay, the no mask thing is just, there's definitely a type of person who's like, the mask thing, is indicative of other things that person does. So.
Yeah, it's just a lot of people are just stupid. I mean, every video that I've seen of somebody arguing about the mask or being obnoxious about not wearing it is a fucking idiot. I mean, you let people talk. You let people talk like that. People like that talk, and they prove that they're a fucking idiot. You know what I mean?
Right.
I remember when, and this is just an example, and this is why I learned to let just people, that are being fucking morons, just let them continue talking. Is I was watching an old Oprah, and she had some members of the Ku Klux Klan on there, and it came the time where the audience was asking the panel questions. So they would ask the questions, and then these idiots on stage would, give their answers, and of course it was obnoxious and racist, and people in the audience were getting angered And one lady got up and started getting into a shouting match with them, and Oprah just told her, she said, just let them talk. Just let them say what they're going to say, and let America see how stupid these people really are, you know. And I was like, kudos to you, Oprah, you know, because it's the truth, man. You let somebody just keep on blathering like you guys are letting me go right now, and they prove that they're an idiot at one point. So that's my piece on that.
I mean, everywhere in Vero, it's the same. You know, people have their beliefs of what they're going to do and what they're not going to do. Like, I've seen people walk into Target with a mask on because the sign's there, and sometimes there's someone at the front door. But once they get in past the greeter or whatnot, and they go to like the clothing, they'll take it off. They just don't care. And the stores don't have enough people to police it.
Yeah.
And I've actually, you know, Cumberland Farms now has signs on their doors saying, "Oh, you are required to wear a mask when you go in the store." I go in the store, I think I'm the only person wearing a mask besides the people who work there, and it's because they just don't have the authority. Like, they can't call the cops and have someone arrested or anything like that. And it's not. There's no top down like guidance, you know, from, I mean, I guess that would bring us, you know, possibly if we're past the mask wearing to the Trump audio that came out today. I know Jeremy's not big on politics, I don't think, but it's the Trump audio is pretty crazy. Have you guys heard that 4 minutes of Trump begging the and basically accusing the Georgia Secretary of State of not having 11,790 votes for
he's basically coming out and saying, give me those 11,000 votes, you know, to make a difference in the final election numbers. But you know, you can hear him trying to be threatening, you know, and try to push the guy around a little bit. And you didn't hear much from the other guy other than, you know, that's not right. You have the wrong information, you know, stuff like that. It's Trump's, he's an idiot, man.
Well, that's the thing. You hear him trying to use the English language. That's what you hear him trying to do, but he doesn't really know how to do that. So you have the Secretary of State and the lawyer butting in when, you know, jumping in when they need to answer his questions and say, no, you're wrong, and this is not what's happened. So I thought it was pretty funny. I know there's some Georgia lawmaker, I think a Democratic House member or something, that is going to file a censure motion for him, but that probably will go nowhere, just like the other ones.
It's not going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, he's out of there. When does Biden go into office?
Oh, well, we'll see.
Well, he's going to go.
The inauguration is January 20th, so that's when the official swearing in with the chief justice of the Supreme Court. The only positive that I hope comes out of this, because of course the Trump audio is ridiculous, and like I was saying in one of the texts, Trump basically runs this like he's a mob boss. You know, basically he acts as if like, you know, I got elected in, so I'm boss, and whatever I say goes. And the attorney general, like, you'll find the votes for me, right? I just tell you what to do and you do it. And
Right.
The only positive that I wanted to come out of the situation, I hope people, even myself, you know, not only just the Constitution itself, but the rules and procedures. I don't think a lot of people know what the actual rules are with, you know, when we vote. Everybody knows we vote first Tuesday of November, but then how it gets to Electoral College, how all that's voted on, then it actually goes to the House. Then the Vice President of the United States actually presides over it, and they count the votes. You know, I don't know how many people I've talked to that either didn't know or didn't understand the process of it. And I'm just hoping that more and more people, you know, educate themselves, and that way we become more, you know, we need a better civics lesson in this country. I think people are just surprised of, it's like, oh, you vote, and it goes in, and boop, bop, boop, the guy goes in the office, and the president snaps his fingers, and, you know, Trump's the one who gave us the money. I'm like, you understand there's a Congress and laws, and there's a whole procedure that goes with things. So I'm just hoping that, you know, this brings a better awareness. I can't even remember. I think it probably after Al Gore in the 2000 election, where Al Gore actually had to count the votes to losing to George W. Bush is
Right.
where, you have a vice president having to actually sit there and count the votes
Mhm.
to someone he lost to. So I think that's the last time it's gotten this much attention of the actual counting of the Electoral College. So, I mean, that's the only bright spot. I see everything with Trump, just counting down days, man. Just as soon as, as soon as we don't really have to listen to you anymore, for real, then
Yeah.
it's like, okay, whatever. But, it is what it is. So,
Well, that day's coming. I mean, it's 3 weeks out. I mean, he'll be gone. This will all be over with. He's going to make noise all the way out. He's just like a kid kicking and screaming when you're trying to take him out of the, out of,
absolutely.
Candy store, toy store.
out of the candy store. Yeah, exactly. It's crazy. It's insane. I think you hit something on the head there, Saint, about talking about people getting the education about the system, about how the system works, and especially voting. I mean, because that's everybody's right and everybody's privilege, and they should know what it entails. Also, I think everybody should have a copy sitting around of the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. I think that should be in every household. If you're an American, you should know what your rights are, and
Right.
having the Bill of Rights and the Constitution at your house, teach your kids. I mean, I don't know what the hell they teach them about the Constitution and Bill of Rights in school anymore. I don't even know. But, if you got it at home, I mean, you got it. I mean, it's there. But yeah, education is the thing, man, especially with things like that, voting. Definitely.
Speaking of voting, everyone in Georgia, make sure you go out and vote this Tuesday. Whoever you want to vote for, I'm not going to tell you who to vote for, even though I have my personal preferences. But everyone should go out and vote Tuesday if you haven't already voted. I'm guessing early voting's probably
How about
already
just
over.
vote for the people who aren't saying the elections are frauds? vote for the other guy.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
people who are saying like all these votes, it's a big fraud and everything's it's all rigged. Vote for the other people.
Vote for the other
It's
two.
simple.
Exactly.
Makes sense to me.
I agree. I guess we
Makes
could give
sense.
our opinions on this thing. Hey, Jeremy, by the way, you've been very quiet during this whole conversation.
He's loading up, man. You kidding me?
Just listening.
Jeremy's like, let me hide this MAGA hat. Let me get rid of this.
I don't have one of them.
He doesn't have one, but he does fall into that tax bracket where, he does probably support the more conservative people.
I have problems with politics. My fiscally, I'm definitely conservative, but social, I'm much more liberal. So it's tough to find someone you like because they
ain't that the truth?
Yeah.
They could pick sides. I stay the hell out of my house, stay out of my bedroom and how I raise my family, and just worry about the shit that I can't do myself, defense and shit like that has to be from a central government. Rest of this shit, I don't care. Leave me alone.
If we could stay out of how you raise your family, then I want to have a job right now. So.
Yeah.
And for the record, go ahead, Jeremy.
No, I meant, people should be able to be who they want. I don't care about marijuana. I don't care if, I don't think marriage should be something that the state has anything to do with. If it is, if you get a benefit from it, then anybody should be able to get married. Absolutely. Or whatever you want to call it. It shouldn't have anything to do with the state in my mind.
Yeah. Jeremy, you have more of a libertarian bent, which I 100% can understand and agree with. But, I wish that, because take the marriage example for instance, because the government has put itself so into marriage and you get so many benefits from marriage. I can tell my friends, I was like, if marriage ain't for you, marriage ain't for you. But the tax benefits you get from it, it's kind of crazy. And then for them to then tell people who you can and can't marry, like, how does that, it can't work like that. So that's just an example. But I totally understand the libertarian view of things,
Yeah, it's just this whole, it's one or the other thing drives me insane, because there's a lot of middle ground that most people fall into, and there's just nobody there for it.
Yeah, that's true.
I feel like
to represent those people.
I thought, and I know it'll never happen, but I thought, get rid of the political parties, just have, 10 candidates, however many candidates qualify for the ballot, and just vote who you want. And also, I know they have those like in some other states. I think New Hampshire, somewhere up northeast, have like the system where you vote for like your top three, and like then it's a weird system. I don't know exactly how it works.
Yeah, in Maine, rank. It's called ranked choice voting. They have it in Maine, and I
Okay.
know that because I'm related to a lot of people in Maine by marriage. But I'm related to a lot of people from Maine now, so yeah, I know all about ranked choice. It's a better.
Yeah.
It's not perfect, but it's a slightly better system than what most states do now. So
Right.
I think my look on politics is get them all out there and playing dodgeball. Whoever wins dodgeball, that's the guy.
If you can
That's
dodge
the
a
guy.
wrench, you can dodge a ball.
Exactly. I want a guy who can dodge shit. You know what I'm saying? And I don't care about your sexual exploits and all that bullshit. Hey, if the president is keeping us safe and doing the right thing, if he's fucking a GNU on the side, I'm going to the GNU store to get him one to continue his happiness. Because I don't give a shit what he does. You know, yes, it's about character. You should be a good guy. You should be, you know, set an example for especially young people and other people. But you just do your job. I mean, you're a civic servant, basically. So just do your job. And term limits, I think, is another thing. You got a guy in there like this dude that we got, you know, this dude should not be in there for any more than 4 years. You know, how he got in there in the first place is a miracle anyway, but
that goes to the faults of the Electoral College.
yeah.
Well, if you're talking about term limits, then Congress is where you need to look at it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Crap, people are there for 35 years.
Oh, exactly.
All they worry about is getting reelected.
Yeah. Ted Kennedy was a senator for Massachusetts almost his whole damn life. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
And I get it, because there's power in having someone that's been there forever. There's name recognition. They get on the best committees, but at the same time, these people become corrupt. They just don't care anymore.
The worst thing is the House of Representatives. The House of Representatives have. Sorry. Go ahead, Jeremy. Sorry.
You shouldn't be a millionaire from serving in a public office like that.
No, absolutely not.
No,
You shouldn't.
I agree. It shouldn't be your main occupation. But the House of Representatives, I mean, as soon as you win election, you have to start your reelection campaign because it's every 2 years. And that's crazy. I mean, I don't know who came up with these numbers, probably in the Constitution, right, Vinnie, you say?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But, you know, I'm not saying it's perfect. You should know about it anyway. But anyway, I mean, as far as term limits, when we're talking about campaigning, you know, the president is in there for like 2.5 years, and all of a sudden he's campaigning for his next term, you know, and which takes away from doing the shit that you need to be doing in the first place, you know. So to me, you know, I don't think the president should be able to campaign, you know, while he's president. You know, if he's doing a good job, put his name in the hat. If people pick him, they pick him. If they don't, they don't. I mean, just stay in the office, do your fucking job, man. You know, instead of going out there and getting, you know, making millions of dollars to, you know, run your campaign for the next term. So, you know, that's my opinion.
I guess they want to turn to a total political podcast, but I will make this one point. Part of the problem is that we're still run on a system created in 1776. So if we think about that, like if you had a doctor in 2001 and they said they got their medical license from a book or university based off things in 1776, you would never go to that doctor for your health. You're like, what do you know about fixing a heart or a lung or even a broken leg? I mean, they just amputate people back then, you know, like, you know, that's what we got for you. But we still run our system of government based off something from over 250 years ago, which is going to bring in problems. And they knew it then. Even George Washington said the thing that was going to hurt us most is the formation of political parties. And within 8 years after he was out and dead, there were political parties, and we've gone down that path. And Washington said it. He said, as soon as we have political parties, it's going to be the death of this system. And a system they knew wasn't even going to be perfect. They, you know, if you read the letter to the founding fathers after the, you know, signing of the Constitution, a lot of them, Ben Franklin was like, it's the best we came up with, you know.
Yeah, right.
Here's what we got.
Right.
And we still use it 200 and something years later, and we figure no problems. But I can go on my history rant, but I guess maybe we should talk about some more fun topics. Anyway.
Fun topics like what? I mean, I can talk about how I've been
Like
ordering.
boobs. Talk about boobs.
Okay, Vinny. What do you want to say about boobs?
No. I think we can all agree that boobs are good. Okay, let's move on.
Yes, the boobs.
Yes, the
All
boobs.
around.
There you go.
Talk
Boobs
about
for
how I
everybody.
got robbed today. I'm gonna lose the damn league because of fucking COVID and fucking Higgins getting hurt on like the first play of the damn game. Bullshit.
Yeah, I didn't get to look at that. Let me see how you're doing. Let's see here.
I'm gonna fucking lose by like 10 points.
Yeah, I'm gonna lose
Sorry.
too. Oh well, that's okay. That's boring fantasy talk. That's me and Jeremy are in my league, and he's trying to get my trophy, but it looks like you won't be getting it.
Yeah, screw you.
Wow.
Next year. There's always next year. Kamara, getting out hurt you, since you beat me with him by 70 points last week or whatever. So
It's not my fault your team sucked.
speaking of teams sucking, Steelers lost, but hey, they're still in the playoffs. Hey, did the Dolphins get officially eliminated, Saint? I don't know.
They lost today big, but
Yeah, they needed the Jacksonville to beat the Colts, and I don't think that happened.
No, Indy won.
Yeah, so then they're eliminated.
Oh, so
Yeah,
the Dolphins were the ones that got
Wait a minute.
eliminated.
So there were 5, but then the Browns won and someone else won. So
The
I
Browns,
don't know.
the Titans, the Bills, the Colts, and the Ravens all won. The Dolphins lost. So whoever lost was going to be the one that got kicked out.
right.
So
Oh, well, good. We got slaughtered. And I don't know. I mean, this could be the sports section of the podcast, but here's something, okay, I'll bring up, which is in general. And something I do as being a Dolphin fan, I think we may have talked about this on another podcast, but just there needs to be some kind of realization that just because your team drafts a guy and drafts him high, it doesn't mean he's going to work out. And for some reason, every Dolphin fan thinks Tua was going to be the guy. And I'm like, if you look at him and look at Alabama quarterbacks, these guys don't work out. And for some reason, every team thinks that their guy is the guy. I'm just like, no, you can see it on the field. It's I don't know if it's just wishful thinking, but it's kind of weird how a fan base, and I only say this as a Dolphin fan who's dealt with this constantly over and over from coach to coach and quarterback to quarterback. Or Vinny, I don't know how deep in the land of Falcon fan you are, Vinny, but I was just saying, I was like, Matt Ryan might get you to the Super Bowl, but I don't know if he's going to take you to the promised land. I was proven right.
Yeah.
You don't have to bring up that Super Bowl loss. But, I mean, you can see it early, like a Russell Wilson, a Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers. You can see the guys who are the guys. And then you see other guys like, I mean, Cleveland, they're talking about, I'm like, you guys make the playoffs, but you're not getting to the promised land. Well, then again, they're the Cleveland Browns, so it might
the playoffs are the promised
issues,
land.
But
Yeah, that is their promise.
Perfect example. And I may be proven wrong on this, but Ryan Tannehill, who played for the Dolphins, now he has an absolute monster truck stud of a running back behind him, which is going to make it quarterback later. But I'm telling you, Tannehill's not going to win you a Super Bowl. If it comes down to it and they got to throw the ball to win a game, good luck. Good luck. And I understand you got to be a fan, root for your team, but demand more. It's like sports aren't cheap. Your time ain't cheap. And that's why I don't get that until we get top-notch talent. I just can't be that invested in. Like, you know what, last team, when the Miami Heat, sorry, I'm going on a rant. The Miami Heat did everything they could to get LeBron James. That's when I started watching because I'm like, we went all in. We're going for championships. We got some horses. Let's go.
Right.
But if you're just like every year, we're just going to draft the guy and, he's a good, he's a top 10 quarterback. Well, I'm like, there's only 30 teams in the league.
Yeah.
Top 10, it's just, I wish fan bases would just be like, hey, Roethlisberger, the off-field issues, whatever. But you can tell right away, this guy can win you the big game. And all these other guys.
Take no for an answer.
Wait, what off-field issues are you talking about? Because there's no charges, there's nothing. I don't know what you're talking about.
What?
Yeah.
What did she say?
the old, yeah, and OJ was found not guilty. So, you know, um, but I'm hearing all these. I'm like, and it's all these they're fooling themselves. And the Dolphins fans like, oh, Tua, he had a good first year. And I'm like, bro, he's not gonna be the guy.
No.
He's just not. So
He's not gonna be your Marino. You're not gonna have another Marino in Miami. I mean, those are big shoes to fill. Number one, and I don't know.
And even Marino didn't get you to the Super Bowl and win, right? So.
Yeah, I mean, they brought him to one Super Bowl and they lost that one because they figured him out. You know, San Francisco played a defense that he rarely saw. So, you know, but anyway, that's history. But yeah, I know what you're saying, as far as, you know, drafting guys that you think are going to, you know, take you all the way, and they turn out to not to be a bust totally, but not that guy, that level of what you need to get you to the next level, to get you into the playoffs and further.
The other problem is in the NFL, you got 55 guys on the team. Your team sucked in a lot of positions, not just that one guy. One guy ain't going to make that big a difference unless you go out and get some people on your offensive, defensive line. You're done for.
Yeah, right. But that's true. But I make the reverse point, right? It's also like a Marino, but in the modern era, we can see it with Andrew Luck. If you watch those games with Andrew Luck was amazing. He was a stud. You put Andrew Luck on like Kansas City or some of these other teams, he could win you a Super Bowl. He was winning games on his own, getting sacked 3 or 4 times a game, but late minute, 2-minute drive, Luck take you down the field, score touchdowns. It's just the rest of the team, especially the defense, was just garbage around him. I mean, he just quit. His team sucked so bad, he literally just quit. But you can see it. I mean, it's like you can see the guys who are like, there's quarterbacks you see, oh, this guy's winning the game on his own. And there's other guys you're like, he's just a guy. And I'm just saying, people need to realize when your quarterback is just a guy. It's like he ain't doing the miracle fourth quarter. You can. It's just like more sport. Do you guys see the Michael Jordan documentary, The Last Dance, during the summer?
Yes, but good.
Yeah, amazing. But you can tell the guys by his second season, everyone in the league knew that Jordan, this was someone to be reckoned with. You know, even though the Bulls were terrible, you know, they weren't making the playoffs until a couple of years, and you know, jumping when they beat Cleveland. But you can tell, and I'm just like, I just wish more sports fans just realize. I understand rooting for your team, but if you ain't got the horses, man, just I don't know, just low expectations. Like, oh, we had a good year, or maybe we sneak into the playoffs. I'm like, no, like it's a lot of money, a lot of time. Like, get good or get better. You know, it's one or the other. Anyway, and the sports rant. I hope you guys. I hope all your fantasy teams lose and the Steelers get bounced. So.
Thanks. No, I mean, I'm honest about the Steelers. I mean, I've been saying for years they need to draft a replacement for Roethlisberger. Not that I wanted him to go. I just need someone like a Favre Rodgers situation. And I mean, recently in the past 2 games that I've watched, Alejandro Villanueva, he's just getting beat on that left side by everyone on the defensive line. Like, and he's a 6'8" dude, 250, 300, and he's just getting beat every time. And I love the dude. He's a real good guy. He, you know,
absolutely.
But they gotta figure something out. I don't know if they can afford to keep him next season. So anyway,
you know, he's getting older, and you know, position where you're butting heads every play, you know, it takes a toll on you after a while. Yeah. So I agree with, you know, drafting for the future, you know, and you can't wait till the last minute. You know, you can't, you know, because Roethlisberger, you know, I'd like to see him. What do you think he's got in him? Another 2 years if he decides he wants to play?
I mean, I don't know. After the past few games, I mean,
I mean, he's looked pretty horrible in his past few games. And, you know, I think it's time to get somebody to step in. And,
I think it has a lot to do with Randy Fichtner, the offensive coordinator. Like in the last game, the Colts game, you know, that first half they got blown out. Right, Roethlisberger was doing all the plays that Fichtner was calling for him. Yeah, and then second half he just came in and did his own thing, and he won the game. 300 yards, 21 points.
Yeah, I mean, let's face it. I mean, if you're playing football at that level for that many years, you know the game, you know the plays that work, you know what you have, the tools that you have to get the plays, that you want to work. I'd say, hey, Ben, have a nice game.
Yeah, that's what I say.
You know what I mean? Just go ahead, do whatever you want. Draw plays up in the sand. I don't give a shit. Just win the game.
Seems to be what Tampa's finally figured out with Brady. Hey, maybe we should let him do what he's done for the past 18 years, and
yeah,
he'll be
exactly.
more successful.
Exactly. I mean, Brady makes it look so easy, and especially when he was with the Patriots, because he had the protection and he had all these studs around him, man. He would just take a step back if he was in the shotgun, or a few steps back, if he was taking it from center, and just make it look so easy, just tossing off the ball. I think, did the guy even sweat during games? It was like, just walk out, throw the ball a few times, hand it off a few times, touchdown, okay. Goes over, sits down, watches, whatever. But, those are the guys, exactly like Jeremy said, just let them do what they do, and they'll win the game for you.
Right. All right, guys. See, I can edit stuff out. I love it not being live.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, in my head, I was just thinking you might want to edit out that long.
No. I got it. I using Audition. This is going to be all edited out, but it's cool because I can edit out these spaces too. So anything less than 600 milliseconds gets edited out. So
pretty much all my comments will be gone.
I think your comments are a little longer than 600 milliseconds, just slightly.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway, what other? I see my topic list has all gone to shit because we didn't do anything. Like Cobra Kai, never got around to watching because COVID hit the house, and me and my wife watched that together.
Has anybody seen that?
I've seen the first
No.
2 seasons, but
I haven't watched it. Is it any good?
the first 2 seasons they're good. It's it's kind of campy, but in a hey, remember the 80s kind of way, but it's also got a new spin on it. It's got the kids are, today's kids. And so it's making you feel nostalgic, but at the same time, new viewers can watch it and enjoy it. But
they trying to pretend the Hillary Swank Karate Kid didn't happen?
No, there's talk of bringing her in maybe next season, but it might just be.
Please don't.
Nah, man, I'm down for it. Bring her in. And listen, you're already in the cheese factor with the Cobra Kai. You might as well go full blown expanded Cobra universe, expanded Karate Kid universe, and just bring in a Bow Wow. Wasn't he in one?
With Jackie Chan.
Yeah.
Remake.
That wasn't Lil Bow Wow, was it? Wasn't it Will Smith's son?
Yeah,
Jaden Smith. That was it, Jaden Smith.
Dang, Sainte, you a racist.
Lil Bow Wow. Wait, what do you mean? They're both black.
They're all the same to me. They all look alike, right? Just go full expanded universe with it. You're already doing the. If they'll come in and do a check, bring them all in, man.
Yeah, I guess so.
What else do we have to talk about, guys? I again, I'm going to cut this out. But what do we not talk about?
What's on the list that we didn't touch?
Well, we're going to do movies, but we never really settled on that because Jeremy or Vinnie were talking about favorite porns or something, or gratuitous nudity or something. Maybe it was Jeremy, I think.
Time out. When were we talking about that?
Jeremy's oh, you have to be more specific with favorite.
You do one favorite movie thing and you're done. But if you make it a little more specific, favorite comedy, favorite 80s movie, you can more often.
How long to the first beaver shot? How long to the first nipple?
See, I'm not that. I cannot do Mr. Skin.
But hey, Vinnie wanted to talk about boobs before. There you go, Vinnie. This is your opportunity.
That's it.
It's like video games. I was talking about Spider-Man and how I'm at 99%. I need to
oh, really?
The game. Yeah.
Really?
I need to finish. The 1% is the literal final thing that I have to do for the other Spider-Man. So I'm working on that now.
You better get that done before surgery.
Yeah, I know, right? Well,
yeah,
if I have my controller in my right hand and it's in a sling and I do like this, maybe it would work. I don't know. We'll find out, I guess. But I'm going to be catching up. I'm going to be catching up on a lot of stuff. So that's good, as long as I don't test COVID positive before the surgery. So.
Yeah, exactly. I was just going to ask about that. Yeah, of course, they're going to test you before you go.
Yeah, I got to go tomorrow for my just check in basically, and then I'm sure they're gonna say, hey, you have to go get tested. I don't know. I mean, if it takes 2 to 3 days, I'm assuming I'll have to go in the next day or two. And
Probably, yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I'm looking forward to
So
it
actually,
because
Depending on what kind of test you get quick.
so you're gonna edit all this out, right, Mike? So I actually wanted to talk to you guys about so I'm probably leaving. I gotta call the office. I'm probably gonna be leaving sometime. I'm hoping Monday, but they might make it over the weekend coming up. So I'm gonna try my best to keep in contact with you guys, figure something out. I guess I'll talk to you, Mike, maybe figure out a way to record or do something while I'm gone. I hate to be like, I'm dipping out as soon as we get this thing rolling. But and it's as soon as I finally figured out the stuff I want to do for my podcast, and I've been procrastinating a little bit. But just wanted to say, like, I still want to, still want you guys to continue going on, and I'll try to jump in anytime I can. But I'll probably be gone till about at least probably March or April. So just want to give you guys. I figured I was going to do it through text, but I was like, well, we're doing it right now. I might as well just tell you guys. Kind of sucks, but I was hoping this would be like, this is what I really wanted to do. I'll be doing podcasts, and this actually is what I dreamed of, like bringing the crew back and stuff. But like I said, I'll talk to you, Mike, and see whatever I can get going, or maybe I can record something. I don't know.
yeah, do like a little
Alaska.
Come up with a catchy thing, the Saint statement or something, and just fill us in on what's been going on with you. And I don't know if you get if you can watch TV and stuff when you're out there, so like you can
Yeah.
a lot of TV.
Well, we don't. I mean, the internet access, like it kind of, like I said before, it sucks up there, but it's gotten better enough where they use Facebook. I just go on Twitter, so that's how I keep up on news. So I keep up on the sports and news and all that. But what was I gonna say? We watch. I mean, every time someone comes up and we get new guys coming in or guys coming from vacation and whatnot, we basically have every Netflix, Amazon Prime, all the streaming stuff. Guys, they find what they can online or whatever, and so that's how I actually half the stuff I've been able to catch up on. I've watched on the boat, during our downtime. So that's how we watch movies, we watch shows, all that kind of stuff, and I keep up pretty much with current events out there. But I'll definitely be up there recording stuff on my little personal recorder, and then Mike every time we go to port. And also, I have a job now. I'm going to be doing more paperwork, office work, where I can probably get a little more internet access. So I'll probably send stuff to the Dropbox, Mike, and then I guess you could edit it in any way you want or whatnot. But every time I'm home, if you guys are still doing this, I'll jump in, and I guess I'll just kind of be the in and out guy. But just let you guys know where I'm going to be. So I give you a heads up if I'm not going to be here next Sunday.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm sure we could, let you know what we're going to talk about that week or something, and you can,
Yeah.
try and say whatever, say your part, and we can just put it in,
If Mike's recording it, he can always send them clips to get comments on or something too.
Yeah.
Before you publish it.
Oh, you mean of the show? What we talked about? Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. I think it'd be good to have Saint record something whenever he can, and then get it to us, and that way we can react to it and kind of bounce off that too. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Actually, that's a good idea. See, that's why, Mike, that's kind of why you're in charge. So.
There you go.
In charge. I'm barely in charge of anything. Okay. So.
Yeah. By the way, where's your CSB certificate? I don't see it up there.
That actually, I think, got damaged, like water damage, and then they closed down. So I don't think I have that anywhere.
Damaged and crumpled and thrown to the trash. Like damaged,
I actually went to a Connecticut school of broadcasting up here. It's not far from where I live. This is a few years back, because I wanted to get in and see if I could get some studio time. I was actually gonna record a podcast there, and then put it out. But I went to go there, and I didn't have my certificate with me, which I didn't think I would have needed, since everything's on record that I went there. And so I went in and I said, look, I'd like to put in for some studio time, or sit in with a class or whatever. And they're like, did you go here? I'm like, yeah, I should be on record. I graduated in 07 or whatever it was. And they're like, oh yeah, we don't have the records for that location anymore. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? I mean, it's not the only location you guys have. I mean, you should have like a central, thing, records of me going. And they're like, well, if you brought your diploma in here or your certificate, we could, that would be proof that you came. I'm like, dude, do you think I'm just driving around going, hey, let me go to fucking Connecticut School of Broadcasting and record something, without them knowing who I am. So, but I finally did find it. So.
No, that's a bunch of bullshit. Because last year I went to the one in Tampa. I just walked in and said, hey, I went to the Palm Beach school, and they basically like, all right, we just have to check down there and make sure your account's in good standing. Basically mean that you paid them in full,
right,
and that you graduated. And they looked it up. They said they told me because I was grandfathered in, but supposedly if you graduated after, it was like if you graduated like after 2015, that if you wanted to go back, they were going to charge you $1,000. But like if you were like legacy, it was only $100 for the paperwork. And it was like, that's why I ended up going back and redoing most of the classes. And I mean, they've upgraded some stuff. They're mostly all on Macs. Everything is the Adobe suite now. And, the studio there was, a little not, well, actually I'd say much nicer than what we had, but obviously what, 13 years.
Our studio was shit.
Yeah. It's one step up from strings and cans.
I'm working on editing the old shows and trying to cut the music out so we can put it up properly. And just hearing all the issues we had, we spent like an hour with my wife on Stickum trying to get the echo. And there's like these long pauses, and so that's one of the things that's cutting out. So
we were trying to do the thing with the phone, right, so that they could call in.
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, we tried that, but then that didn't work, and so we wound up. I mean, we just used the chat, I think, but.
Well, I mean, now we can, have guests with the Zoom platform, of course.
Well, that's what I'm looking. Yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to. If I can think of, or if you guys have any ideas of anyone you want to reach out to. I mean, obviously, I don't think Tom Hanks will respond to anything like that. But if you guys have any thoughts, I mean, that's what Twitter's for, man.
Wait.
You can.
I'd be willing to listen to a pitch about Scientology.
You want to get Elizabeth Moss or Tom Cruise? Is that what you're saying?
Let's get.
Do you listen to that podcast, Dead Eyes?
No.
There's a whole podcast. It's called Dead Eyes, right? About a guy. All right, quick synopsis. He was an actor, and he got a part in Band of Brothers. Do you remember Band of Brothers?
Yeah, Band of Brothers. Right.
Yeah, and he had got the part. And it was like some tiny little role that he was going to play as one of the soldiers. And then they're shooting in England. He gets the part. Then like 2 days later, he gets a call from his agent. So you got to come back in. They thinking about recasting because Tom Hanks thinks you have dead eyes. It's like, the fuck? What does that even mean? So he goes in. I guess Tom Hanks just came in from doing Castaway, but Tom Hanks is like the executive producer, and he's directing he was actually directing that guy's episode. And so, yeah, they get rid of him. They recast him. And it's for like a nothing part. So then this guy goes on, he's like as a comedian all this time, and then he creates this podcast talking about, I've always thought about what that meant. And the podcast goes in crazy directions. But at the end of each podcast, he's like, and I'm still hoping to talk to Tom Hanks. If you know Tom Hanks, please send him to this pod. And the podcast, it's on season 2. I haven't listened to any of it because I'm saving it for the boat. But this podcast came out this year. And one of his episodes, he has to stop. He's like, so I'm on stage, I'm doing my comedy thing with these musicians, whatever. He's like a traveling comedian. He has a decent career. And he's like, my phone's blowing up, right? And this is like episode 5 of a weekly podcast. And he goes, I go backstage, I've got like 30 messages. And he goes, people are like, did you see? Tom Hanks has COVID. Oh my God. Are you going to keep doing the podcast? Blah, blah, blah. And then it goes from this guy, it's kind of tongue in cheek. Hey, is Tom Hanks ever going to respond to this guy from 20 years? He said at Dead Eyes and stuff, to where it's like, oh shit, I hope Tom Hanks doesn't die and make me seem like the world's biggest jackass from this podcast. And the podcast goes Seth Rogen ends up on the podcast because of he's listening to it, and there's like a story that involves Seth Rogen. Then Seth Rogen hits the guy up and says, "Actually, what you heard is not what happened. I'm willing to talk to you about it." So Seth Rogen ends up on it. Like he gets Seth Rogen as a guest. It's crazy, but that's okay. Saints podcast recommendation, Dead Eyes. It's really good. It's really funny. It's tongue in cheek, and then it gets a little serious around the COVID time. Because, Tom Hanks was one of like the first famous people, when he got it and Rudy Gobert got it, and then the whole country shut down. But so Dead Eyes podcast, it's really good. If you got time, I'd recommend it to anybody. So there you go.
Check that out. Definitely check
Recommendations. Hey, edit that in.
No, I'll leave that in. No, honestly, when I go to the end, I might only cut a little bit out. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna see what plays and what works, and then I'll make it flow. Because there's only a section in there, but I mean, us talking about CSB, I think I want to leave it. So fuck you. I mean, sorry. You took $11,000 of my money, and I didn't get shit. I did everything on my own.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, it was far less than I thought it was gonna be. As far as okay, it's a recording studio. Okay, next. Then they go on to the next thing. It's like, well, what the fuck? I mean, are you going to teach me anything about this or what? Yeah, it was a short course. I don't know what I really expected, but not $11,000.
Yeah, me neither.
But anyway.
All right, guys. Well, we can wrap it up for this week. We will say goodbye to Saint being an actual live person, apparently for the next 3 months. But he's going to be
here in spirit. So
in
all
spirit.
of
send me some
all of Jeremy's jabs and knocks, I'll be rolling my eyes out in spirit.
Appreciate that.
We'll hear occasionally from Saint, whether it's through a voicemail or if he drops us actual recording, and we can bounce off that, and we'll figure that out when that happens. So next time you guys hear from me, if we do a show this weekend, hopefully I'll be all bandaged up. I might be under the influence of many pain drugs and medications.
Hey, I'll take some too. It'll be interesting. I'll take some too, and we'll have fun.
So we'll see how that goes. Like I said, Georgia, get out and vote, and yes, go vote for John Ossoff and RAPHAEL Warnock, right?
There you go. There you go.
Go vote.
There you go. RAPHAEL, that's my man.
What'd you say, Jeremy? You busted in there. What'd you say? Who? John Ossoff's the
Vinnie
guy.
knows her name.
Vinnie lives there. John Ossoff's the guy who debated against himself because Purdue's a dipshit and couldn't figure anything out, and he got bounced so bad the first debate by Ossoff that he declined to do anymore. So he basically had his own ad space on TV just because the guy didn't show up. Yeah, but exactly. Awesome. Purdue and what's the other one's name? Loeffler. Yeah, they've made millions off of the COVID pandemic by selling stocks and everything with all their insider knowledge. So fuck them.
Hey, if you ever take a good look at Loeffler, look at the size of her neck. Look how long her neck is. She's like a fucking giraffe. She's like 5'2", but she's 6'2" with her fucking neck. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. It's like if the wind catches her head, it's gonna snap her neck. I swear to God, that's how long it is. It's like, hey, Senator, can you grab me that leaf on the top of the fucking tree? It's unreal. We call her Senator Giraffe around here because that's funny. It's funny. Yeah, but if you see one of her ads, check it out. I mean, it's almost scary.
All right. Jeremy, you got anything to end the show with before I do all the sign-offs and everything? This is your last chance.
Nope, nothing today.
Are you going to be around next weekend for the podcast? Or, I mean, we'll play it by ear. So
I get off Friday morning, so I'm good.
All right. Vinnie.
Doesn't Jeremy have to be to work in like 8 minutes?
Yeah, something like that.
It's
only a 12-hour day. No big deal.
Yeah, that's cool.
All he has to do is turn valves and push buttons. He's fine.
That's all.
Avert nuclear holocaust.
Oh, okay. All right.
That's not a bad day.
Vinnie, how do you want to end? You got anything you want to say before we leave?
No, man. I'll just catch you next week, and maybe I'll come up with something by then.
All All right, Saint, this is your opportunity since we won't be hearing from you for a while. What do you got to say?
Yeah, man. I mean, this is great. I mean, I know this is episode 2, but it's been really fun catching up with old CSB, even though I guess we trashed a bit, old CSB buddies. And yeah, like I said, I will try as much as I can. Like I have a new position, so I should have a little more free time. You know, I'll try to do some recordings. Like I said with Mike, we'll figure some things out, and so I can still be a part of the podcast on a weekly basis. And for anyone who's listening to this and listened last week, appreciate it. Hope you keep listening, and hope we just keep doing stuff to make the podcast better, and keep it rolling.
All right. And apologies to John Oliver, because I realized starting the show, I say welcome, welcome, welcome. I just totally stole that from last week tonight, but that's fine. So if you're listening and you want to leave us a voicemail, give us a topic, have a question, you have a comment about how boring and horrible we are, you can call us and leave a voicemail and we'll play it on the air. It is 240 area code 724-6877. That's 240 Saints with 2 S's at the end.
I'm calling that. I'm calling that. What's the number I'm going to call that? I got some shit I got to say. Okay.
You could just say it on the on the podcast, Vinny. That'd be fine.
I was going to hide in anonymity, but okay.
You want me to use a distorter on your voice?
Yeah, but you use a distorter on my voice.
All right. And you can email us at usualsaints@gmail.com. You can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at The Usual Saints. And you can listen to our podcast, like I said, on Anchor, Apple, Spotify, Pocket Casts. I know I'm missing some. It's all over the place now. So that's all we have for you for this week. I'm Mike D for Vinny, Jeremy, Saint, and myself. This is The Usual Saints.
Peace.
Peace.